So the problem with saying, I don't see color, is that it shuts down the dialogue. And so, when you come from Black and brown families, there is an entire lived experience that is very different from someone who is born and raised in Canada or born and raised in Kitchener-Waterloo in a white family. And so, that would be things like, when I look back to my dad's roots in Guyana, on one respect, he has stories of such a warm, community-based childhood, right? Like there's family, there's church, there's school, there's education. The other side of it is coming out of this community where, they didn't have refrigeration, they didn't have bathrooms in their house. He grew up in a house where there was outhouses that you use. They got tear gassed out of their house, right? And that's how my dad's family made the move. And he comes from a large family in Guyana. But that is how they made the move to get to England and then eventually over to Canada. And so, when you look at that, he came to Canada when he was 18, but when you put into perspective the trauma that comes along with being tear gassed out of your house by, ending up as a man, a young man in your 20s in Canada in this whitewashed communities and universities that he was a part of here, and then you say I don't see color. The problem is that you're looking at very different people, and that creates this internalized sense of, when they talk about internalized racism, it takes all that trauma and it holds it inside your body and inside your family's bodies, because if you don't have the opportunity to share that and to define yourself and your experiences, if no one in the community wants to listen to that, you end up feeling invisible, or you feel erased, or you feel like you're living in this world where you can be feeling like you're crazy inside your own mind, because the trauma that comes along with that history, the history of violence, the history of being the only Black and brown person in a room. When someone says, oh, I don't see color, it's okay, suddenly you're left to carry all of that on your own.